What's up? What's up? I'm back. This will be the first video, even though I'm remaking it again because I seen I messed up on some stuff. Just want to make sure I get everything out right, but at least try my best. But I'm just starting with Inside Out and just breaking it down again. And it's gonna be my own scenario. What could have happened in Inside Out? And y'all know me, I like to go into scenarios. Well, I hate going into them because it gets so wordy and you can make up millions of fucking scenarios. But this is going to show how magical and powerful our head is and our mind is. Because, like I said, every picture is 1,000 words. A movie, or shit, even a picture 1,000 words, and you can still get, you combine words together, get a million different messages. Same with a movie, there's fucking a million words, you can get trillions of different messages. You keep combining, there's trillions of different combinations you can get out of those messages. And this is just one of the scenarios that I came up with in my head. If Joy was to keep on her dictator reign and kept being this leader that didn't let people get any shine and kept oppressing people, this would basically Joy would have became. And with a version of, I'm gonna go into different versions of how just different scenarios of how people are, period. And might talk about, this might relate, one of these might relate to you, maybe not. But and I'm just freestyling. But for instance, with joy and sadness, let's just look at emotions real quick, period. Let's just kind of break down how emotions kind of work, at least from the emotions they gave us an Inside Out. Sadness and anger are kind of like brothers and sisters. Like you can get sad and angry. You kind of be like, when you're angry or sad, it's kind of like a thin line. You can't really tell which one you are sometimes. Versus if you're joy and glamour, they're kind of the same. Fear and wisdom kind of the same. They kind of come from the same places in a sense. Like you get fear out of having wisdom of shit. Like the reason fear Inside Out had his fears because he understood how you can get hurt from certain things, and that's come from a certain understanding of wisdom. So this is what I'm about to break down of a scenario that would have happened in this movie or could have happened in this movie. So say his Joy wasn't fucking with sadness. Joy had already put, like, if y'all remember, I ain't even gonna use that movie, but fuck it, I'd throw it out there anyway. Triple X, when they put, what's his nigga name, Samuel L. Jackson in jail. That's basically what they did to sadness, because they just put her out, shipped her off on the side. And then it was like, we're gonna have to do something with anger too, because anger gonna stand up for sadness if we really want to think about it. And it was like, let's go ahead and lock anger up too, just because I feel like both of them gonna stand up against us if we, especially we want to be powerful and control. So we're gonna oppress them, and as long as they are oppressed, we should be okay. And joy and glamour, they could rule together. They're happy together. Like there's like Great Britain and America. Like we don't got to go to war against each other. We can work together. Y'all got y'all way about going about shit. We got our way about going about shit. But either way, we're both pretty much the same. So let's just work together. And that basically starts a war over time. Like you castigate these people over, you oppress them, you probably enslave them, make them work for you on little tasks and shit like that, but they never get any real taste of power, real taste of equality or whatever. And eventually they rise up against you, and it becomes that battle of Bruce Banner and Hulk. Either Bruce Banner didn't want Hulk to come out, then Hulk didn't want Banner to come out, and they keep switching, they keep overcompensating, and then of course in Endgame you get how they finally figured it out, how they merged together. But that took a lot of trials and tribulation. It took it took him getting his ass whooped by Thanos. It took a lot of shit. It took being stranded on a distant planet. It took a lot of shit. When you think about us and our journey and how people would be like, we're not from here and shit, it takes a lot of shit to combine what you're really trying to merge together, bro. Because it's I can't say why, but it's tedious, it's hard, but we're doing it for a reason, bro. And once you see that version of like, damn, I'm Hulk and Banner, I'm the smarts with the brute strength and the animalistic nature, I can control that too. So think of us like humans. And going to our next level where we can use those animalistic nature still for our benefit. But I mean, that's kind of what we're doing now. And I wouldn't even say to our next level, we'd probably be past that. But in this level here, we're using our animalistic natures to our benefit, but we're also not letting them control us. And when you combine them to the perfect match and you do that perfect balance, like it's hard to knock you off your course. Like you look like basically you walking around like the Hulk did in Endgame. Like, yeah, I know I'm an animal, but yeah, I also know I can control it too. And us together, we're having fun. Bundles of joy. It's funny because we talk about how joy go against each other, but when you really bring them together, that's how you get true joy. Because there's peace, there's harmony, there's no war, there's no divisiveness, there's no, oh, this ain't you're not as good as us, and we don't really need to learn from you, or we can't learn from you, or the lessons we learn from you not as really good as the lessons we get and the things we go through. Because everything we go through is so much fun. And y'all get why I'm being so sarcastic, because I figured out how why positive people always ignore me, because you not really can't change if you're always positive. You justify your means. But that's in a later video I already made. It's funny because I already talked about it, so I know I don't have to touch on it again. Like, I know it's just funny. But joy would have kept up with not letting other emotions live. Like, that's basically what happened. They eventually stand up and oppress themselves. They eventually get tired of being oppressed, and the oppressor become an oppressor, and you get this war that you have. And that's why people battle each other for so long, because they suppressed their emotions that they had in themselves for so long, and basically didn't learn from them. Or you can even look at it like fear. Fear is a great example, because the things you fear, that shit don't ever go away. Honestly, they never go away. I hesitate to say they only get bigger, but at the end of the day, they only get bigger. And it's only because the only reason they get bigger is because your amount of fear increases. Like, okay, so say you run away from something. The reason you ran away from it, whatever you thought or whatever it is, they ran away from it, because, you know, we fight or flight. So if you choose to fly, whatever thought that was that initially made you fly, you're only going to keep justifying those thoughts of fear, and only keep justifying in reasons. And until you come out of that, it's only going to keep getting bigger. You won't. All right, I got something to break down, because I'm stuck here now. But okay, so with fear, you can either let it get bigger, or you can start to knock it down and pull from it. And I'm like, all right, it ain't that big. Let me start knocking this shit down. This big ass mountain I built up, let me start pulling this shit down. Let me start reshuffling it from over here, because it's not even that big. Like, I can, but I don't know if I'm saying it right or using a good enough. But basically, with your fear, bro, like, it's not that the fear get bigger, but you belittle yourself more and more and more and more and more until the fear just looks like so huge, where you're like, nah, I can't get over that. I can't get over that hump. I'll never be able to do that. Or I'll never be able to, like, it depends on whatever scenario you're chasing. For instance, if you're trying to graduate or some shit, like, no, I'll never be able to do that. I'm not that good, or I'm not worthy. It's not necessarily even, you're not even talking about that shit, like the shit that you can't finish. Like, it's more about yourself. And then eventually, when you stop having that fear, you start to build yourself back up, and then you start to be like, that shit really not that hard. Like, you can look down on the shit that you used to fear, versus you kept looking up at it, and it's only because you had such a small perspective, and you was just so little in your perspective and how you was choosing to look at it. But once you get that bigger holistic perspective, you're looking at that shit like, I was struggling over that. I couldn't get over that. That ain't shit. And I only can emphasize it. It's hard to exactly put it in words, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not necessarily the fear getting bigger. It's just you belittle yourself to a point where you don't believe in yourself no more, and that fear just looks insurmountable. But it's the same thing with any other emotion. If you're ignoring those emotions, you let it just grow and grow and grow. And once you get to it, it's like, damn, you don't know how to necessarily control it and harness it, because you don't have enough power within yourself to believe that you can even harness or control it to where even you don't want to. Like, period. But it's just hard to move with joy as a passion, because I don't know why I'm reading so fast, but I just want to get to my next point. It's hard to move with joy as a passion, and this go into when I talk about happiness industry, and there being pretty much they're selling happiness as an industry. Wisecrack talked about it, because basically it's hard to sell when people are angry. It's hard to sell when people are depressed. So if we keep these people antidepressed, we keep these people with joy and happiness, they'll keep the capitalism going. Capitalism best works when people have a certain amount of joy in their hearts. And it's also, if people not angry, it's hard for them to get out of that current situation. If people not sad, when people are sad, it's easier for them to get out of that situation. When people are angry, it's easier for them to get out of that situation. Girl, if you don't stop, get out. It's easier for them to get out of that situation because there's a certain amount of passion you can flip that anger into. That passion, a certain amount of sadness, you can flip that into passion. Like, for instance, you get cheated on, you become sad, but that sadness don't hold you back. You can easily flip that sadness into anger, or easily flip that sadness into passion. But when you have joy, it's hard for you, like I was talking about earlier, it's hard for you to flip it, because even when you're chasing joy, you see a dream that can give you possible joy that you'll want to chase, or you see a dream that could possibly give you happiness, on that journey to joy, or on that journey to happiness, you're gonna meet a lot of sadness, you're gonna meet a lot of treachery, you're gonna meet a lot of depression, because on the way to getting happiness, you find sadness. Just period. Like, that's the point of the bitter cup. You don't understand the heaven or the sweetness of heaven until you go through bitter life. So when you're trying to achieve something, you're gonna get all the different things that's the opposite of it. So when you in that true seat, you understand everything, or understand as much as you can. You're gonna still be able to learn. And I'll talk about that later on, where even when you win, you can still watch film over the wins. You don't just watch film when you lose. But so when you achieving happiness, bro, when you trying to achieve that, you're gonna go through sadness. When you're trying to achieve success, you're gonna go through failure. Like, period. Well, I wonder if you're trying to achieve failure when you go through success. How my mind works. Is there a cheat to this shit? That shit funny, bro. But nah, like I said, when you gonna go through those different things, but like I said, it's hard for you to keep joy as just the only thing I'm striving for, because it's, like I said, it's so easy to just get off that path. Like, yeah, I'm happy, but every time I chase happiness, I get sad. Hey, get your ass down. Why would you do that? Stop. No. Made me hit you. Badass. I'm getting everything. But let me see. Yeah, this is just me. I'm just wrapping up everything I said, trying to make sure everything just makes sense going into these next videos. But Joy basically would have started wars against each other, and the outcome of these certain minds and how people would have looked like. If you look at Inside Out at the end, that show how different people mind work and who's sitting at that table in their mind. For me, like I said, it's probably a bunch of different versions of me and myself, and I'm being a diplomat, bringing them all together. Some people, it's just one person leading at all times, and that's the only thing they can truly believe that can lead at all times, because they most likely are monotheligic or whatever. They only believe in one God, so at one time, but they don't understand that God says there's a season for everything. So your God might constantly be changing, and you don't understand that because you only want to look at that God at one version of itself. Like, you don't look at God as being the devil or any other thing, which is God is everything. So you would have to understand that, but you only look at it's bad that you only have one. It's not bad that you only have one God, but it's bad that you don't understand that your God will be ever changing, and that God in you will be ever changing, and that, well, I should fucking with that shit again, I'll be mad. But that God in you is ever changing. That's the real problem in it, because when that God turns sad, that God turns bad, it's like, why am I like this? I'm supposed to be positive. That's the only way my God is. Like, it's all loving, and it's like, no, it's not like that. I want to get mad sometimes. I want to get on niggas' ass sometimes. Like, just let me out. But I'm just saying. But for even then, like I said, some people might just have one God. Some people may have multiple gods or multiple people at their table. Some might be having two, because they're the only two they can work with. Maybe it's just joy and glamour. Some people, it's just anger and sadness. Like, and I'm not going to sit up here and say them the only two you need to learn from. Like, there's many versions of you that you can pull from. And even if it's just one person sitting at the table, understand how flexible and how flexible that one version that you have sitting at that table is, because it better be the best actor. It better have range, because if it don't have range, you're gonna have the same fucking story. Every time you're in a new experience, you're gonna have the same fucking reaction. Bro, it's like watching Denzel, and I'm not gonna say Denzel because Denzel got range, but it's like watching an actor that only can be funny, and every time he in a different movie, that's all you get from him is that one. He basically playing himself. And I'm not gonna say for Kevin Hart, but people love to say that's Kevin Hart. But if you watch Upside Down, Kevin Hart definitely showed range in that movie. But that's just like showing Kevin Hart. It's just Kevin Hart in the movie. And that's basically, no matter whatever situation it is, oh, that's just Bryce, or that's just who that person is. Like, they never can get the best out of situations. They always let whatever situation, they always come out the same out of every situation, basically. And that's just like when we watch these movies of people like, damn, this person don't got no range. This person can't be anything different. This person just a thug in this movie. This person just a ratchet person. That's why I hate Tiffany Haddish so fucking much. But drop the fucking mic, I'm out.